I reviewed over 16,000 flashcards while learning Japanese. These made Japan feel like a second home because the language just felt natural. But it wasn't always like that. I hated flashcards. I reviewed the same words over and over and still could not speak the language. Sadly, this is so normal that there's even a name for it. Flashcard hell. I quit Spanish because of this, and I don't want you to fall into the same trap. So in this video, I'll talk about the one common piece of advice I hear everyone talk about, yet it took me years to find out how it really fit into language learning. And I'll show you how I now maximize flashcards without entering flashcard hell. Spoiler, there's only 3 key steps, but these 3 steps change everything. So let's start at the beginning. Me failing at Spanish. Just like you, I searched and searched for the best way to learn. I tried Duolingo, Memrise, Anki, all of them. But when it came time, there were many words I simply could not understand. One of those words was sino. In English, it means but. However, the word pero also means but. Sino versus pero. What's the difference? Seriously, I looked up answers online and I still had no idea how to use the word sino. But I kept reviewing, hoping I'd understand. I never did. And this is where that common piece of advice starts. Everyone tells you you need to have context, and all of these apps provide that to you. Duolingo gives you sentences, Memrise gives you clips of native speakers, Anki has a lot of shared decks with images, notes, etc. This seems like a lot of context, right? Yet you still may not understand these words. Why? Well, everything becomes different when you have a real conversation. Not those pretend conversations like we have in school where we learn some words and some grammar and follow an outline, but a real conversation. One that's unpredictable. You have no outline. You're forced to think on the spot. These apps are great for that first little bit of context, but they won't bring you to fluency. This is why I failed at Spanish. I was never able to keep up with real conversations. And these apps, they'll keep you reviewing the same cards forever if you're not careful. I think that's a waste of your time. And there's one reason why. This is key number 1 to maximize your flashcards. Every card you review has a lifespan. From the very first moment you review a card, there's a clock that counts down until that card becomes useless. And most people review cards way beyond its useful life. That's how I got trapped reviewing words like sino, plus many other words. What I should have done, and what I recommend you do, is delete the card. Once you have even a small idea of what the word is and what it means, delete the card. It's not useful to you anymore. This alone will save you a ton of time and stress. But you might be wondering, well, after I delete the cards, what am I supposed to do? After you delete your vocabulary cards, you create sentence cards in their place. Simple, right? But you cannot skip what I'm about to tell you next. You want to collect audio clips of sentences said naturally at native speed with context of why it is said. This is called sentence mining. But it does come with one problem. Most people, when they first hear about sentence mining, their biggest concern is, how do I do this if I don't understand native content? The good news is you could start this from day 1. First, start with a list of the most frequently used words. We start here because the top 2,000 words account for about 80% of daily spoken language. This way, you know every word matters. Then, once you have an idea of what the word is and what it means, delete the card. After that, collect short sentences that are easy to understand. They could be as simple as, I like dogs. I play games. She cooked. He is tall. The apple is green. Simple, right? But where do you find these sentences? Well, start with what you have. If you have a textbook, take every single example sentence you could get. Or you could search online how to use X word in a sentence. There's also tools like Mezas.com to find example sentences from different sources. This is great to build up your base. But like I said earlier, what you really want are audio clips of sentences said naturally at native speed with context of why it is said. This is how you connect what you learn with the real world. Yes, you may feel like you don't know 99% of what's going on. That's okay. You just have to sit and listen for that 1%. Wait until you hear a word you recognize. Then stop the video. Focus on that sentence. Look up words. Take a moment to understand the grammar. Just this right here is great study. But as you know, with flashcards, it's important to review what you learn to make it stick. That said, I don't think you should review every sentence you come across. Let's say there are 6 levels of difficulty. If you're a level 2, learning a level 3 sentence, that will be good for you. But if you're learning a level 4, 5, and 6, it might be too hard. So ask yourself, does this sentence feel usable, or does it feel too difficult? If you don't find it useful, move on, it's fine. But if you like it, save it. This is all you have to do with sentence mining. And don't feel bad for collecting a lot of easy sentences. These easy sentences are actually the best to have. And if there's one thing you remember from this video, remember this. Language learning is not about memorization. It's about pattern recognition. Most day-to-day language follows similar patterns. So if you learn easy sentences like, I like dogs, and you also learn sentences like, I like cats, I like ice cream, I like running, your brain will naturally pick up these patterns, even if you've never learned the grammar rules before. And I want to make it as easy as possible for you to do this. That's why I created Mizas.com, where you can easily find native content, you could read captions, save words and sentences for review, and even clip audio directly from videos.
Entonces, cortamos el pan.
So you can easily do sentence mining. Now, as a disclaimer, the current version only allows you to do audio clipping on desktop. We're working on solutions to allow audio clipping on mobile as well, so if you want to support development, please consider joining the premium membership. Now, we have one more key to maximize flashcards, and actually, this has nothing to do about reviewing flashcards anymore, because studying flashcards all day means nothing if you can't speak the language. So in key number 3, I'll show you how to connect all of the sentences in your brain to your voice. And all of that will be in the next video. Sorry about the cliffhanger, but I know there are many people who study really hard but still can't speak. So I want to go deep in this video to give you the perfect speaking practice you could do on your own even if you have no speaking partner. So click on that video and I'll see you there.